Hey everybody, I thought I'd take a minute and give you kind of a overview of how to use Google Sheets to do a quick analysis of a data set, going over some of the characteristics we've talked about so far. So thanks for tuning in. I'll jump right into it. Over here on the left side, we have just a data set of some random numbers in no particular order. So assuming we've punched those in or imported them from something, we've got some characteristics at the right, and I'm just going to run through very quickly how to find these things using commands on this. So the first option is to find the mean. It's a classic. And every Excel command is going to start with an equal sign. And then the mean actually is found by using the command average. So I'm going to click on that. And the nice thing about Google Sheets is you can drag data and it populates the cells over here. So A1 through A12 is talking about the column and the row. And then if I hit enter, it gives us the mean. I'm going to ignore this suggested autofill. I don't think it can read my mind that well. But median is just going to be the command median, and that means the middle. So it says 11, and again, remember to find the median by hand, you would have to order the data from smallest to largest. So we'll verify that that's true in a second, because I'll show you how to order that using this, which can be pretty handy. Let's look at the mode. So I'm looking at the mode over here. It looks like 5 appears 3 times, 11 appears a couple times. So hopefully it gives us a 5. Remember, if it has more than one mode, Google Sheets might get confused. But in real life, we would call that that it'd be bimodal, bi meaning 2. Okay, the next one is the standard deviation. And because this is a sample, there are a couple different standard deviation commands. And generally, we're going to use the sample standard deviation. So if I start typing standard deviation or ST, I get a few different commands. And the one you're going to use most often is this one that has .s. And that .s stands for sample. So I'm going to bust that out, highlight my data, close the bracket, and I've got my sample standard deviation. Variance is similar, that there is a population variance and a sample variance. So I'm going to use var.s, S for sample. Again, if I'm moving too quick, pause the video, check it out. Here we go. And then I'm going to highlight all this stuff. Just a side note, if you remember from class, the variance and the standard, the variance and the standard deviation are closely related. Maybe you can't tell by looking at the surface. But remember that the variance is the square of standard deviation. So if by chance there was a prompt that gave you one of them, you can do kind of just straight up math on here. So if I want to do like a math problem, I could do equals. And if I take this sign and I'm going to use a little asterisk, shift 8, that means times by that. That would be the square of the standard deviation. And check out what I get. I get the same value because that's how they're related. The minimum and maximum, I think there's commands, but to get these last 4 values, I want to remind you that if you want to order data, you could highlight it and then hit data, sort sheet, and I believe the first A to Z is going to get it from smallest to largest. Well, that's really convenient. So the minimum, to go back and look at this because now it screwed up stuff over here. So I have to fix that, but I think we can still salvage the video. Or maybe it organized this. Wasn't expecting that to happen. Let's finish what we were trying to find. So the minimum is 5. The max is 19. And again, I'm just looking at the biggest value. This is the max. This is the min. And then the quartiles I discussed in a different video. Check that out. But quartiles comes from the word quarter. And so if you look at this, these values, there's 12 total. So you can think of these as the bottom 6. And you could think of the other 11, 8, 6, 5, those as the top 6. And so the median was 11, because that was right smack dab the average of these two, just kind of be convenient. But you could think of quartile 1 as kind of the median of the bottom half. And what I mean by that is if you look at these 6 values, that's the bottom 50%. And halfway through that would be 5 and 6. So you could think of quartile 1 as the average of 5 and 6. 5.5 would be 5 plus 6 divided by 2. And quartile 3 is the kind of the lower midpoint. Again, that's my own vocab. But if you look at the bottom 50% of the data and then find the midpoint of the bottom 6, it would be the halfway point between 13 and 16. Again, I'm taking the average. And that's just because there's an even value, even number of values, as opposed to an odd number where it would just be the direct middle. So the average of 13 plus 16 would be 29 divided by 2, which I believe would be like 14 and a half. And so just to recap, again, one of the other things that came up is there's this thing called the 5-point summary. Pop quiz, what 5 things do you need for the 5-point summary? The 5-point summary consists of the minimum, the maximum, the median, quartile 1, and quartile 3. So you get a lot of features from that. So hopefully this helped. Sorry about the some of these things kind of fell apart at the end, but hopefully we got the gist of what I was trying to say, and I appreciate you tuning in. So thanks for watching.